I hate that it's already October 11th.
Why?
Because where the fuck is all this time going? I was looking at the creepy Google Maps where it tracks your every move, and you can go back to any date. And there are things that seem very recent, that were already a month ago, and then things that were already 6 months ago. This is unbelievable. October 11th.
Yeah. Doesn't bother me.
Well, we'll see. One day it'll bother you.
Yeah, one day.
When you have hot flashes.
What? Why? Why will that be the thing?
That'll be it. Menopause will
it?
trigger it for you.
Oh.
Nobody wanna see us together, but it don't matter, no.
What kind of distraction is that? Deflection.
It's not. I don't know how to answer you. I like the weather, and I love that it's getting cold.
Yeah, the weather's great. I'm just saying
I just don't think about time the same way as you. And you can't handle that.
You don't think about time at all. But one day...
I do.
When you have that flesh that's hanging off of your arm.
Listen, it's not like I haven't seen the effects of time on my body and face. But also, I don't know. I'm not thinking about the passing of time like you do.
It's absolutely...
It's like, yeah, that does seem recent, I guess. And also it just kind of feels like, yeah, that feels like it happened about a year ago.
It's absolutely disgusting.
No, I don't mind it. The weather's changing. It's back to a season.
That's not what I'm talking about. I enjoy the weather too. That's not. That's nothing to do with what I'm talking about. It's that the weather is here changing again, already, and the time just keeps flying by, and your body's going to start to break down, and soon you're just going to have to enjoy the weather by sitting on a bench that someone props you up on. That's going to be here before you know it.
Honey.
Yeah, and you have those kids who are flesh clocks.
Flesh clocks.
Yes, that's exactly what they are. As they age, you age. And right now, because they're little, you think, oh, no, it's fine. There's so much time ahead. Just wait.
No, I don't, because I don't think like that.
There will be Pete's jizz all over the place soon.
I know. Not soon. It's only 3.
Well, what I'm saying is that it's going to go by very quickly.
Yeah.
And he's gonna think he's doing a good job of hiding it. And that's going to be another marker, though, a milestone in your life. And, like, how much time has passed? My son is already leaving his jizz all over the place, thinking that he's doing a good job and that I don't know what's going on.
I won't think of it as, oh, no, here's that thing that's happening, and that means that he's so much older. I'll just think, oh, here's that thing that's happening. That's funny.
The amount of jizz that's left around the house will coincide with the amount of distance the flesh on your arm hangs.
Ooh, I wonder.
There's correlation.
I got to keep it tight so that he never jizzes out everywhere.
Oh, boy.
Is that how it works?
Nobody wanna see us together.
So, yeah. Gay? So, with my Nintendo Switch that was delivered to the barbershop next door. Which still blows my mind. They just drop it off. I mean, what if they decided to steal it over there?
Yeah, and be like, I don't know, I never got it.
I was reading stories about that happening.
Really?
Well, I mean, I guess it wasn't the Nintendo Switch that was being delivered. It was the Super Mario Kart. Talking about time.
I thought you got a different controller.
I got a different controller also because the controllers on the Switch stink. But yeah, I started playing Mario Kart today, and I was thinking about how I played Mario Kart on Super Nintendo, and we're talking about all this time passing. It's like, oh yeah, so much time has passed, and yet here I am still playing Mario Kart as Toadette.
Toadette! What's the benefit of using Toadette?
I just like Toadette.
Yeah?
I find it to be insulting that she's just called Toadette.
Yeah, well, what's Toad's name? Toad. It's not like his name is John Toad.
That's fine. But she should have more character. They do that all the time. They just tack an "et" to the end of something.
Yeah.
And that's the female version. If his name was John, her name would be Johnette.
What's the dinosaur guy from Mario 2? Lady from Mario 2 with her eggs.
Birdo.
That was a really Birdo.
Birdo hasn't.
Doesn't that sound pretty good? I feel like that's a pretty good effect.
Is Birdo in Mario Kart? I don't think so. Yeah, I guess the Birdo is in some of these versions of Mario Kart.
I feel like I've seen her with her bow in her hair and her big round face.
Anyway, that delivery, when I got the notification that Amazon had dropped off my package using Laser Ship, which is just the person who picks up a package in their own car, I think. The Uber of package delivery. So they get the package and they get to my apartment and no one's answering. I'm not home. They're buzzing the other apartments probably. No one's answering, so they can put it inside. And yeah, I guess at that point it's like, I don't know what to do with this. Oh, hey, here's a barbershop next door. I'll just throw it in there with them. And then that notification I got that said Barbie, left with Barbie, neighbor.
Barbie
Well, it said Barbie, and then I clicked on it and looked at the actual signature. And yeah, it said Barbie Cha.
Barbie Cha.
Which
I understand, like, it's a phonetic sort of trying to figure out, like, Babasha.
Well, I was thinking about maybe what happened. Like, maybe the driver said, "Can I leave this package here?" And those guys said, "Sure." They're Jamaican. And then maybe the person dropping off the package said, "What's your name?" And they just said barbershop, but in a Jamaican accent, and it sounded like Barbecha. And then
Barbecha.
And then this guy.
All right, maybe.
And then this person didn't know they were saying barbershop, and they thought the person's name was Barbecha, and they wrote that down. It's the only thing I can think of. How the hell do you get Barbecha?
I don't know. You're right. It probably was, but the way that person. So you're saying the person who delivered it wrote down Barbie Cha.
I guess, unless they had the person sign it at the barbershop.
But then it'd be even weirder that the barbershop would spell such a strange Barbie Cha.
Yeah, unless it just got cut off somehow on that electronic pad. Who knows what the mystery...
Barbie Cha!
The mystery will never be solved. It just blows my mind, though, that this is a policy that Amazon has in place. Yeah, you can't... They're not home, just leave it with someone else.
That probably it's not. It's just New York does whatever they want.
No, I was looking it up, and apparently in suburban neighborhoods, a similar thing. If it's Laser Ship, if it's UPS or something, they'll just try again the next day because they have their routes. But yeah, if it's a person who's just driving their car, they don't want to come back to do it. So I've read stories where they leave it with neighbors, and then sometimes neighbors, I didn't get it, even though they've clearly signed for it.
New name for barbershop from now on is Barbershop.
Amazon. Shouldn't be ordering with Amazon. I hate myself every time I order with Amazon, giving Jeff Bezos more money.
Yeah, you're supporting the machine.
Yeah, but it's look, they make it. I like to hold myself to a higher standard. That's purely performative.
You already are a Prime member.
It's purely performative because in my mind, I'm not going to give him more money. And then you look, oh, it's $10 cheaper, and I can get it tomorrow instead of waiting 3 days. Okay.
Whoops.
Here you go, Bezos. Take more of my money.
Bezos. You don't like Mark Bezos?
He doesn't do anything. I feel like if I were as rich as him, I would want to do something nice with my money to help some people.
Does he definitely not do anything?
He doesn't No, he doesn't do much.
Because a lot of times you can there's that whole tax thing where you gift a certain amount.
Nah, he loves the fact that he's the richest man in the world, and he wants to hold on to that title. That's his sole purpose of living at this point. What a stupid, fragile little ego.
I need to be the richest man in the world.
Yeah, men are fucking idiots. No offense.
Agreed.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ. I know what this week's topic is, but I will let you present it, Autumn, even though I don't know how I feel about it. It's fine. Meaning... Is it fine?
Wow. What a great way to pump up the beginning of this episode. Thank you for that.
I just don't know where you're going with it, so I guess there's some concern on my side.
Let's explore together, shall we?
Yeah, let's
This week, I would like to talk about dicks. Penises.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Peni.
Did we do this with the breasts episode? Did we run through a list of slang terms?
Johnson's.
No, you can do this one
Sausages.
yourself. Remember those big Johnson t-shirts? Those awful, pathetic, sad t-shirts? If you're going to go fishing, you better do it with the big Johnson. And there was some woman with her boobs popping out, and kids in middle school would wear these shirts. And I would think, what is this, your dad's shirt that you stole? Or did someone's parents buy them that shirt, the big Johnson t-shirt?
They probably did at the outlet store going up to Lake Hartwell.
Oh, I didn't even know. Is that where that was the hot spot for the big Johnson t-shirts?
Well, yeah, I think you could get stuff like that at the outlet stores.
Where else would you get them?
I don't know. Spencer's?
They weren't at Gadzooks, I'll tell you that right now, because I used to go to the Gadzooks to look for my Massimo shirts.
Oh, no. They weren't at Wet Seal.
Where the M was the shape of a milk carton or a gas can. I really loved those Massimo shirts. I don't even know why. Just because other people.
Did you ever get into No Fear?
No, I wasn't No Fear, and I was never Stussy.
Oh, I got a No Fear shirt, and I always got gigantic shirts from like Best Buy. Is that where they were?
No,
you know how like
no
they used
Fear
in
shirts?
Best Buy they used to have shirts.
I'm trying to remember the Best Buy of old. I've kind of blocked it from my mind. I blocked Best Buy from my mind.
What are other places that are like that? Not Circuit City, because that was more electrical.
Hi-Fi buys.
Maybe something like that. I remember just like seeing, everybody had the Dark Side of the Moon black shirt that was like an XXL.
Media Play used to have clothes.
Media Play. That's where I got it. I got a No Fear shirt that was like blurry. Do you remember how it was like blurry and it tricked you and it made you think you couldn't see it?
Oh boy. Yeah, I blocked Best Buy from my mind from that period because I applied for a job there after I got fired from my PacSun job, and during the interview the guy was looking at my, background check. He's like, "You work anywhere else?" I didn't put PacSun on there, Pacific Sunwear. He's like, "You work anywhere else?" I said, No. You sure about that? I said, "Yeah, no. I've only worked at Publix. That's it." He's like, "You're sure?" I said, "Yeah." I didn't realize that he had the information probably in front of him. Yeah. And I never heard from them again. And it was very embarrassing once I finally put that together. So I cannot think of Best Buy from the 90s.
Well, listen, you ain't missing much.
But yeah, Media Play. They had selection of clothing.
Yeah.
No Fear.
Anyway, I don't know why we're starting to talk
Big
about
Johnson. I guess I'm deflecting. I'm trying to
come up with some dick. Come up with some other words for dicks.
Peen. Ween. Doodle walk.
Trouser snake.
You just skipped over that one I made up. Doodle walk.
I missed it.
I have to say it a third time?
Yeah.
Doodle walk.
Doodle walk? You just made that up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There it is. That's the end of.
That's it.
You gonna top doodle walk?
Nah, I can't think of something else.
Trouser snake.
Fuck stick.
Yeah, okay. Why are we doing this topic? You just trying to be shocking?
Because originally was because you and I started talking about what Trump's dick might look like, and you reminded me that Stormy Daniels described it as what did she say, like average but with a real big mushroom head? Yeah,
which then ties into our Mario Kart discussion from earlier with Toad.
Right.
Poor Toad got ruined by that description.
Justice for Toad.
Yeah, that's not fair to Toad. But anyway,
because if you Google like Donald Trump penis, then it'll be a side-by-side picture of Trump and Toad because of Stormy Daniels.
Toad is forever ruined.
Yeah, poor Toad.
You also said you wanted to do something fun.
Yes.
So okay.
I'm really interested in some serious topics, but I just think it'd be more fun to have like a funny, weird discussion about dicks.
I did no prep for this one.
Neither did I.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Let's go.
Well,
buckle up.
Oh, no.
I want to talk about them. All right, listen.
Okay, well, look, that's fine, but it's your topic. You got to lead the way.
I'm ready. If you would step aside.
Okay, I'm stepping aside.
I'm speaking.
It's hard for me to do because I have penis, and you're a woman, and I
true.
can't let you take the lead.
Well, maybe I could approach you as a man.
Hush. I have a floppy piece of flesh that you don't have. Therefore, I'm better.
That's right. You are superior to me because you are the male end and I am the female end. I am the vessel. And so therefore I am only useful when that vessel is being utilized.
I am feeling uncomfortable about this for some reason. I don't know why. I that's a good question. I don't know why.
Oh, then let's get started. Let's not focus. Let's not keep dwelling in this lobby of dicks. Let's open the door and go inside the building.
Let's not fuck us. Okay.
Fuck us. We need to finger it out. Okay. I want to ask you as a man.
Yep.
And I know that you don't necessarily identify with the majority of men and how men act and behave, but what do you think is the reason that men have become sort of the dominant figure in so many ways?
Well, that's not about dicks.
Well, they have a dick.
It's a totally different conversation about things.
But don't you think that they have that position because they have dicks?
No. I mean, unless you want to say that it's tied to the testosterone that comes along with having testicles and therefore being bigger physically in a time when you actually had to defend the women and the children with your strength and go out and find the food as the women raise the children, then therefore the penis becomes a symbol of all of that, then sure, that's where it all came from originally. Just physical size. It's like my strength. Therefore, men become the dominant of the two sexes, and I don't
that makes
think
sense.
it really has anything to do with it.
And size, and men are, and not all men, but so many men are preoccupied by size.
But
and that doesn't come from the media, because you know what I mean, like where women talk about body image standards coming from
because men are stupid. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's what it is. All right. Because men are stupid and have a need to prove that they're better than other men. Again, going back to some ape-like behavior. We talk about this quite often. I feel like this comes up. My stances on this, but it ties into that. And then when you have to set yourself apart and you're not fighting, what's the easiest way to do? It's like, look at mine. It's bigger than yours. And for some reason, that's become the point of comparison.
And when it is on the smaller side, people overcompensate and, like the short man syndrome type of thing. They have to puff up their chest and make sure that, even though they know that their penis is small, they have to make sure that that they can dominate you.
Yeah, in other ways. And so I make a lot of money. Look at all the money I made. Look at this car that I drive.
Right.
It doesn't matter that it's micro. Look at this. Look at all these other things.
It doesn't matter if you have a gigantic mushroom head. You could still be the president.
Look at the amount of iron I can pump. I've gone to the gym nonstop for 38 years, and then for 6 hours a day. And wow, I'm set apart. Come have sex with me. I really cannot stand it in general. It's
peacocking, right? Like that comes from the male species needing to show that they're strong and virile and have better DNA. It'll be like a provider, protector, or something.
I cannot stand being an animal. It is so pathetic. It is. Yeah. This is. Oh my God. I'm shutting down. I'm sorry. I'm shutting down. Just thinking about being an animal myself, because the behavior is ridiculous. It's just the dumbest stuff I've ever thought of anyone doing in my life is these kind of behaviors. When I see a person acting in such a way, they're trying to prove themselves for whatever reason. Just so they can get laid and they prove they're better than some other dude. You're supposed to be smarter than that. I thought the whole thing about being human was you have these bigger brains. No, it's just you can come up with more complex ways to get laid. That's ultimately what it boils down to. We're smarter, so we can come up with more extreme ways and more involved ways to just impress women.
You know what I think that you're actually railing against is adults. Like, I think that once you became an adult, you expected others to be like the adults that you thought of it when you were a kid. And now adults continue to disappoint you and acting like animals.
Just humans disappoint me. And plenty of women disappoint me. It's not just men. Okay. It's just because I am a man. So it's like it's
yeah,
been
but an
more
adult, you feel like adults should act a certain way. And not act in such an animalistic way or such like a lizard brain.
I think that's what we should strive to be if we want to be different than animals. But ultimately, there's no difference. I hear what you're saying, but I'm not. That would require me to think that I'm an adult, and I'm not. I don't view myself as one. I haven't. I think maybe finally, over the past 2 years, it started to settle in a bit where I feel like an adult. But outside of that. That would require me to feel as though I have it figured out, and I don't. I just expect more. That's all.
Yeah, you expect adults to have it figured out, and because you don't have it figured out, you don't experience yourself as an adult.
It's just the dumbest behavior.
Unrealistic expectation.
It's unthoughtful behavior. Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand.
Yeah.
Dicks.
Would you like to know some experiences I've had with dicks?
Oh, okay. I feel like we're jumping around with this. But sure. Okay. You can tell me.
I can't keep doing the show if you keep shitting on it as we go.
I'm not shitting on the show. I'm not. I apologize if it comes off as though I'm shitting on the show. I feel like...
You feel concerned about the show?
No, I don't feel concerned. And I don't know. I just don't want to jump around. And it's like, we're just talking about dicks. And so now here's one thing, and here's another thing. Here's a random thought, and here's a thought. Yeah. I don't know. That's... Whatever. Go ahead.
All right. Well, let me take a pause.
No, we don't have to take a pause. Let's not take a pause. We can get back to the topic of dicks. You want to talk about dicks? We can talk about me because I'm being a dick. I realize that I'm being a dick with this episode.
Being a dick.
I am. I'm not coming along. No pun intended there. I'm not. Maybe I did mean that. I was embarrassed after I said it because I hate puns. So even when I make a pun, I have to say no pun intended.
The highest form of comedy. But go ahead.
I was going to say I'm not coming along with you for the journey, the topic of dicks, because I don't know. I've felt very, very anxious lately, and I think I'm wanting some structure and control. And an unstructured show at this point, jumping around, is really making me feel unsettled. So
yeah, too chaotic.
So I apologize that I'm not going along with you.
Yeah, I don't think you're being a dick, but to me, someone being a dick feels like intentional, like you're meaning to be like this, and then you were being like childish about like, I'm not gonna do it, so I'm gonna fuck it up. I don't think that that's what you were doing, and I don't feel like that, but I won't say that you're wrong about not coming along with me.
I'm closed off. I'm resisting. I feel like with everything that has been going on in my life, things that have affected everyone with COVID and just the state of society in this country, and beyond, but you know, what we encounter every day and what we see, you can argue whether or not it's a mirror or if it's reality. I don't care. It's, you know, perception is reality sometimes. And then in personal things, I just feel like, it's finally caught up is what it feels like. You know, I'm thinking about my future here in New York. Also, my friends, they're all moving away.
Yeah.
I don't know what New York turns into. Now we're switching topics, by the way. So I guess.
Dicks is, you're throwing away the dicks topic?
One topic. Well, look, we'll get back to that topic at another time. Not this show, probably. Okay. But we can explore dicks fully.
I don't want to do the topic of dicks if you're not fully invested in having a fun time talking about that. So, and I don't think people want that either.
No, I agree. I agree with that. That's why I wasn't able to jump on board. I felt a pressure to be fun with that topic, and I'm not in a fun mood.
And that's worse. Not only is it not fun to not want to have fun, but when you're feeling forced to have fun, that's the worst of the worst.
Yeah, and I can't do it. I can't fake that. So, I sabotaged your show. I blew it up.
You did.
I don't know. I just, I need control. I feel like there's a lack of control right now going on in my life. And then, with the work I do in therapy, I'm trying to be more open with these things that I feel, anxiety, for example. I think I've always been an anxious person, but I've actually, I'm realizing I was pretty good at just hiding it somewhere. Or maybe I wasn't good at hiding it and shoving it down. I was just good at living a life that kept anxiety-inducing things at bay.
Yes. I wish people could see my face because I was shaking it no when you were saying you were good at hiding it.
No.
And then yes, big yes, the other way.
Yeah, I lived in a very controlled box. It's like, all right, here's my world. This is the extent of it. Sometimes I go outside these walls. That's okay because I'm choosing to go out. Every once in a while something gets inside the walls, but it's like a fortress. So if there is an intruder, I can get a little anxious, but I can handle it. But, we're at the point where the walls have crumbled, both because of natural forces and because of choice. I've tried to knock some of these things down, and it's proving to be quite the task.
I mean, what you've done is what a lot of people do. You want to avoid discomfort. And who wouldn't want to avoid discomfort? Nobody wants to seek out discomfort. But at some point, the avoiding discomfort means you're avoiding, important things that maybe spiritually or something you want. It is something you want to break down those walls because you don't want to live within those walls. You don't want to limit yourself to that. But then to go outside of them is tough. And so, I mean, this is what I'm also learning in therapy is that leaning into the discomfort and sitting with it. And this is what my therapist always says. She's like, just, close your eyes for a second. I know this sounds so like crunchy, hippy dippy. She's not like this. She's not like, crystals or anything, but she says, close your eyes and breathe into that feeling and notice where it is in your body and just really feel it. And I feel like that kind of thing has really helped me move through the discomfort and sort of almost like defogging your windshield. It's like pretending that I can't see through my windshield. It feels better because then I don't actually have to do anything. But ultimately, it's uncomfortable. But if I just calm down and feel it and hate that I feel it. I don't like feeling it. But then I somehow get through that and I feel like, oh, okay, I'm still uncomfortable, but I feel like I can acknowledge it and either fix it or approach it in a way that is going to progress me forward instead of just totally ignoring it or pushing it down or sort of making it not real so that I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, I've never been good at dealing with it, which is why I avoided it. It becomes very overwhelming. It literally shuts me down. I can't just acknowledge it. It takes over my brain and it shuts me down and sends me back to being a toddler.
Well,
I'm a toddler before a toddler can speak. And I mean this.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing tantrums. Maybe I am. But I think what I'm trying to say is my language skills, I feel, disappear. My brain and my thoughts, my critical thinking, everything shuts down. And I feel like I'm a baby who is aware enough and can understand the world around them enough, but has zero communication skills or minimal skills and gets very frustrated at that. And,
so can I tell you, I think I told you this. My therapist said that when you have these like anxious feelings, they've done brain scans where all of the activity pulls away from your frontal lobe or your frontal cortex or something and goes into sort of that like fight or flight, that base brain activity. So it would make sense that you sort of lose the ability to express yourself.
Well, then I get angry that I can't express myself. And then
like a child.
Then I get pissed at myself. Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me illustrate this point.
Sorry.
Then I get angry at myself, and then it just compounds and becomes even worse. Like I should not be reverting to a child. So then I look at myself in the mirror and say, "You fucking suck."
See, that's where I think you go wrong.
Why? I mean,
because
I know why, but
yeah.
I just want you to explain.
I think you need to, when you start to feel like that, you just got to live in that first place where you feel something is going on. It's making you react this way. You then turning that around and saying, I shouldn't be feeling this, or I'm a piece of shit for acting like this. That's something else. That's the thing that I think gets in your way.
Oh, quiet down, plebe. Yeah, you're right, but I hold myself to higher standards.
Yes.
How's
how far is that? How's that working for you? Is that working?
I'm a superior specimen, and I shouldn't be dealing with the same things as other people. This is the thing. When it comes to other people in my life that I care about, I give them the room that they need and the understanding and the space when they're working through things, because I get it. I understand it, and I really don't judge them. I don't afford myself that same space, though, or that same understanding, because I'm supposed to be better than that. So then...
But really what that's doing is it's letting you get away with not dealing with it. You run past the dealing with it and just turn it back around and start shitting on yourself instead of accepting.
It is self-absorbed at that point, and it helps maintain the cycle.
Yeah.
Instead of learning. Look, I am learning. I'm a cat. It's been released into the woods for the first time. It's been allowed out of the house. And I'm just pawing my way around.
Okay.
A little nervous, but as I become more familiar with my surroundings, hopefully it'll open up. Or I'll just start having nonstop panic attacks, which I've never had in my life. I've never had an anxiety attack outside of being stoned. I've had two while being stoned. One was I was convinced that there was no oxygen left in my apartment, and I opened a window and started breathing as deep as I could the air from outside.
You thought that like you had breathed all of the oxygen in the room?
It just felt like there was none. I was like, I can't. I'm not getting what I need with the air in this room. And I opened the window and huffed through the gross screen. You know, screens have that smell.
Yeah.
Whatever the outside.
It's like metal, but also something else.
What is the smell of screens?
Yeah.
Window screens. You can't even describe what it's a distinct smell. It is a screen smell.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be a combination of things because it's not just metal, but I do feel like I feel like it's like a taste. It's like a nose smell that you can taste.
Yeah, it's the material, it's the elements, all the filth outside.
Dirt.
Anyway,
dust.
I was breathing in as deep as I could through the screen. And then another time I became claustrophobic in my own body. I felt trapped in my own body, and that was god awful. I smoke pot because I have anxiety to calm down. I got my prescription.
Yeah.
You're just not smoking the right kind. You need sativa.
No, you would need indica, Autumn.
I mean indica.
Sativa's going to get you to dark places. It's all hybrids at this point anyway. It's all just mixed together. Which I never understood that. Like, sorry. I said I never understood why people are still, you need indica. Maybe somewhere, but Even the pot delivery services here in New York, they bring them and they say, this is the indica, this is the sativa. And then you look at the packaging, it's like 50-50. It's like, why are you calling this one a sativa and this one an indica? They're 50-50. Well,
I don't know.
Anyway.
Can you get 100% of one? Can you
No,
request?
I don't see that as much anymore. I mean, I'm not buying pot for myself, but
yeah,
maybe it's out there. I'm not well versed. Somebody else probably knows more. Anyway, you were saying.
I was going to say I had one panic. Well, it wasn't really a panic attack. It was like on the verge of one, I guess. And I didn't really, I kind of realized it halfway through. I was like, oh my God, I think this is, I couldn't breathe. I felt dizzy. I needed to sit down. Like I felt like I would faint. I probably should have listened to that, but I was just like, whoa, crazy. That's crazy.
It's interesting that I haven't ever had one. Considering maybe I, again, was good at controlling my surroundings to keep me from getting to a spot to have one.
Yeah.
And I also, for the longest time, the more anxious I become, the more neurotic I become. And I really, really liked being neurotic for a long time. I thought it was fun. It was where my creativity lived.
Oh, so that's like that personality thing that we talked about me, mostly.
When? What?
Where I decide that not brushing my teeth in the morning is a personality trait.
Well, that's an asinine behavior.
Okay, asinine behavior. Yours is like, well, my asinine behavior of...
No, I think a lot of good, because you could get yourself in situations that were humorous. When Curb Your Enthusiasm came out,
right?
Like that was like that I connected to that, and maybe a lot of people did, and I'm not that original, but like I understood it like completely. I was like, this is what my life feels like. Obviously, that show sometimes went a little extreme in the situations, but for the most part, it's like this is what my everyday life feels like. And then, people are really loving that show, and then you're going to say, okay, well, I want to stick with this even more. But right. The more anxious I become, the more neurotic I become. Things like going to a restaurant and looking at the menu layout will piss me off. I think this doesn't make sense the way this menu is laid out. Or even recently, Zencaster, this program we use to record the podcasts. I'm not liking some of the functionality on it. I don't like the fact that you can stop recording, and then if you have to start a new recording, it refreshes the page. There's probably a reason for that. Mm-hmm. But, I start to really lean into the stupidity of design. The Nintendo Switch home screen. I was looking at that earlier. Like, this is the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like there's no form to it. There's no aesthetic. It's like someone just threw it together as fast as they could because they had to get the Switch out.
So I don't think you're alone in like, I'm pretty critical of things. And if I wanted to, dive into the layout of a menu, I could definitely complain about that.
It feels like, sorry, just to add on to that, it feels like, though, it's insulting to me. It's like
you take it personal.
Yes, I take it personally.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I don't think that I have the same feeling about it. I like to shit on things. I think that can be pretty fun. But I don't think I feel it like you do.
No, I want to find the person who created it. It's like, what the fuck were you thinking? It's like, now I'm subject to this. Why would you create something that looks like this?
Again, self-centered?
Yeah. Look, anyone who's neurotic is...
I didn't mean that as the long pause and then the short... Yeah.
Well,
I was worried. I didn't want to, I'm not trying to hurt your feeling.
If you're thinking about the world that way, yes, you're self-centered. Not everything revolves around you. Really, nothing revolves around you. A few things may. So yes, when you're approaching the world that way, it is self-centered.
Yeah.
But, that was a thing that I really liked. But it's the more anxious I am, the more I hate the world. I realize that. The more negative I am. Because the more I hate myself. This is the most basic psychology of all. But the more I hate myself, the more I hate the world. I was trying to think. I had an example. Now it slipped my mind. So I don't know. Maybe it'll come back. Probably not.
Well, it makes me sad, to think of you thinking of yourself that way.
Yeah.
It's not about me. It's not about how I feel. But I wish that you could be as kind to yourself about mental health that you are to others.
That's why I probably don't tell many people, or I wouldn't ever let it get out of control or talk about it too much, because I don't want to worry other people.
Right, but yeah, you really again, you really feel like you can really fuck everything up. Like you acting a little bit quote in your mind wrong is going to ruin everything for everyone else. And that's not it.
It will. I'm that important.
Right. Exactly. Interesting.
You see how this is starting to piece together? You remember when I talk about my pathological need for modesty? It's to offset this extreme self-centeredness. Yeah. It's like I got to balance this somehow. So I need as much modesty as possible. Look, some people aren't even aware of their self-involvement.
Right.
And so, there is no attempted balance. And I think the fact that I was aware of it, but unable to control it, I was like, I don't know what to do. I just may as well try to balance it with this modesty. I
think ultimately what you have to do is, and this is how I approach parenting sometimes too, where it's like, is this working for you? I think that people should. You don't have to examine your life constantly and constantly be taking the temperature of each other in relationships or friendships or, family and for yourself and what am I doing? Just think about what's working and what's not working.
Well,
and if it's not working, then it's not working.
Well, when you've lived your life in one way, and that way has worked to an extent. It's worked well enough. I'm not in a bad spot in my life by any means. It's worked. But I don't know what doesn't work or what works outside of that because I've never tried. So it
doesn't work because you're having anxiety.
I understand that overall the system is flawed.
Yeah.
And it's not a system to live in.
It's not a strong... It's not the wall that you want to build around yourself.
No, but you've got to build a new system, and that in itself is difficult.
It is because it's uncomfortable.
It only took me.
You need to get familiar with discomfort and not think of it as such a horrible character flaw that you shouldn't be in a place where you're uncomfortable.
Well, you start to pile on also too. It's like, oh, it only took you 38 years to even get this far, moron. And then I'm walking down the street, it's like, nice haircut, loser.
To someone else?
Yeah. It's the way it manifests.
Well,
and I have gotten to the point.
Working for you.
I have gotten to the point.
Or me for this show because I lost my topic. So.
Oh, well, look, we're going to come back to your topic. Your topic's going to be served well. We'll give your topic the time and the effort that it deserves.
Okay.
I am going to say that there are times I'm walking on the sidewalk alone, and I make comments like that aloud. I mean, what am I doing? It's not even for show. I just see someone, and I hate the jacket they're wearing. That's a good gauge, though, of my mental state.
Okay.
Because I certainly...
If you're doing that or not?
I can certainly get... Well, I'm always going to judge people, but I can...
Oh, totally.
There's like a real hate inside. I'm like, I hate
I just meant saying it out loud, yelling at strangers. Like a real New Yorker.
Yeah. An insane person.
Yeah.
This is my future. I understand. I know what my fate is if I continue down this path. It is the person who is just yelling at everyone who walks by for absolutely no reason. I'll still be living in this apartment.
Yeah.
I'll be the 80-year-old.
And then, you'll just be a character. People will like you.
Yeah.
They won't like you in the moment, but then later they'll be like, yeah, when we lived in New York, we had this guy yell at us about my haircut.
Yeah, or this guy lived in my building. I think he ate Alpo. Like the story just starts taking on lies and untruths.
I saw inside his apartment once, up to the ceiling cans of dog food. Crazy.
Or maybe that's true. Maybe it does get to that point.
It's not going to. Don't let that happen. Be kind to yourself. You deserve kindness.
The criticism comes in like now, when I have work meetings and after the meetings, like it's really seeping in all over the place. I think back to the things I said. I'm like, that was the dumbest thing you could have ever said, you moron.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. I guess just keep moving forward.
I think if you sort of, while it's happening, if you try and be aware, and stop yourself while it's happening and say like, no, don't let yourself go
easier
there.
Said than done. I think I just have to let it happen until I become used to it.
Let what happen?
I have to let this shit play out. Like I can't just say, no, don't go there. Not yet.
Oh no, I don't mean about the anxiety. Let yourself have the anxiety. I just mean within that, don't like be aware that you're talking about yourself negatively and stop yourself from doing it. That's you. You can stop that. No, there's nothing outside of that you have to negotiate with to stop that from happening. That's something that you need to be aware of, that that happens, and it's that little, mischievous devil, and you need to say like, okay, the devil is here. That's it. Stop that.
I still think, okay, I'm going to address what you said first, so it doesn't seem like I'm dismissing that or didn't listen to it.
Thank you.
Easier said than done. But
that's fine, but you got to practice.
I take your point.
Yeah, it's a practice. I have it when I'm eating and I know what I'm doing, and the little devil's like, fuck it, just do it, eat more Oreos, and then the other part of my brain is like, oh, there's that thing that is telling me to do something. Why are you going for those Oreos? Is it because you're finally calming down after you had a fight, or after you felt emotional and now it's time to eat those feelings and make yourself and soothe yourself? Is that what's happening? Okay. Sometimes I still do it. Sometimes I still am like, yep, that's what that is, and I still eat the Oreos. And then other times I'm like, that's that thing. Okay, I don't really need these Oreos. But it's just knowing what's happening, being present and aware of how you operate, I think is what I'm saying you should do.
I just don't like the way I operate. Though, what I was going to say is maybe this is the most genius plan of all time, because it all does tie back to the fear of death. And I tire myself out. Life is so difficult for me. I'm just so tired that I welcome death, and that fear is alleviated. So maybe I'm actually one of the smartest people to have ever lived. I've devised this plan that is going to force me to one day welcome death.
Sounds like a great time.
You don't? Yeah, okay. Would you rather?
I do think that you are smart. I think that, yeah. Have you ever seen that Dave Chappelle? I don't remember. It's a older one where he's like, I think I'm too smart. Like, I'm too smart. I see through things. I see what's going on. I see the real stuff, and it sucks. And he doesn't like it. He talks about how he hates it. It made me think of you.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about this stuff and my negativity, and there is some judgment, negativity that's always going to exist. And I don't even like to call that negativity, because sometimes just being honest about what the world is and what humanity is,
sure,
that doesn't need to be negative. But quite often people want to assign that to negative because they want to live in this fantasy where they think everything is great and wonderful and they can will it, or they can lie to themselves and everyone else is lying. Oh, this is such a wonderful place. No, come on. This is bullshit.
But it's also that. It's also wonderful.
Yeah, that does exist.
Right. But just because the bullshit horror exists doesn't mean that
the things that people say
amazing, awesome miracles don't exist either.
No, don't exist. That stuff does exist. And I think the people who are faking it miss out on the real things that are
correct.
Good. That's what also annoys me. And that's also, you want to just tie it back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show when I was ranting about the thing about men and animals. And I expect more out of humanity. I expect more out of myself. We have to rise above being stupid apes.
You have to accept your ape self so that you can accept your human self.
I don't buy into it.
You don't have to buy into it. You just have to acknowledge that it exists.
What if we were able to upload our brains and consciousness into a computer, and at that point we were no longer animals, but it's the brain of a former animal? Would you still?
Yeah, you're still.
Would it be legit? At that point, it's completely illegitimate to act like an animal because you're a computer at that point.
Incorrect.
No, yes, completely correct.
Brain came from animal. You are still an animal.
I think
your thinking would still be based on your primate brain.
I think as the evolution of the brain and the computers continued, there would be a real push to just, come on, we're computers now. Let's get rid of this stupid fucking behavior.
It's what makes you human.
That would be the growth. That was like, we need to push through this. We want to evolve. Yes, this is where we came from.
Without that primate animal brain, you don't feel driven toward love or delicious food or fun times, because a computer, humans need those things, not me.
Well, what's the point of being so smart? Except to push the limits, push the boundaries, continue
to create things like the internet.
The thing that destroyed.
To explore the stars.
The thing that destroyed humanity.
Go out into outer space.
I mean, I understand the internet as
learn about surgery and, germs. But that's why it's good to be smart.
None of that stuff matters, ultimately.
Yes, it does.
I mean, it matters to us being alive, learning about germs and surgery and saving lives, but it's all revolving around keeping this life alive. For the most part, if people weren't around to study those things, it wouldn't matter. Those things would still exist and they would continue on. It doesn't really matter.
What did you say once? That we're spiritual beings seeking? No, maybe that wasn't you. We're spiritual beings.
No, I forget what it was.
Seeking a human existence or something like that.
I feel like I said something.
Yeah, it's not. I'm conflating what you said.
We're not thinking.
Famous.
We're not thinking beings who feel. We're feeling beings who think. I said once before. But that's fine. I think.
Oh, we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Oh yeah, that's someone else. I don't know who did that.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Let's find out. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course, everyone knows Teilhard de Chardin, a French philosopher, paleontologist, and Jesuit priest. Wow.
It was in my quote book.
What you said?
That quote. And those quote books that people buy. What's that quote book called?
I don't know. Anyway. You need to accept all sides of yourself.
Never.
Instead of trying to suppress them, or you'll never feel better. And also you need to know that that other people accept all those things about you.
Most people don't have the capacity to accept or understand such things.
Oh yes, because you are so.
Some people do.
Brain important.
No, you do. I mean, some people do, but most people don't.
Well, that's fine. Who cares? What does that have to do with anything? I'm talking about you and how you feel about yourself, not how other people react with you.
Well, you said you need to trust other people, and I said most people don't have the capacity to even grasp any of this.
It doesn't really matter
Just
if they have the capacity
up.
To grasp it.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I did. Yeah, how was your life? It was wonderful. No, it wasn't. If you're honest with yourself, you'd tell me it sucked ass.
I joined the military at 17 years old.
Yeah,
I saw my friends die in the muck.
Why did you join the military? One, because you were drafted against your will, or two, because you were in a position, standing in life where that was the best option for you. Doesn't sound like it was the best way to go.
My daddy would hit me.
Oh yeah, and then
but it taught me discipline. It taught me how to pull myself up by my bootstraps.
Yeah, the way people can spin abuse.
Yeah,
it was good for me.
I only got hit when I was in trouble.
It was good for me.
That's right.
I deserved
Not to
it.
say that I haven't wanted to smack my kids. I sure have, but I have not done it.
Yeah, that's.
I understand the instinct.
Of course.
See, okay,
Who
so
doesn't?
you know what that is? That is a perfect tiny example of me accepting the shitty sides of myself, but also like appreciating the other side. I don't then say like, I'm a shitty mom for wanting to hit my kids.
No, because you don't do it.
Right, because I don't do it. But if I started to like really shit on myself because I had those thoughts, then maybe I would be in a different mindset, and I'm not saying that I would then hit someone, but I would, walk down the street and say like, nice haircut, loser. I don't know, just off the top of my head.
Well, sometimes these haircuts are the most asinine things you've ever seen in your life.
No one's saying you're wrong. You could be right.
I see what you're saying. You're just having the thought. You're not judging yourself on the thought.
And you shouldn't judge your thoughts. Unless it's,
I'll continue to practice. Practice makes perfect. Only have to put in 20,000 hours of not
Don't say practice makes perfect. Say practice makes progress.
Okay. Practice makes progress. I only have to put in 20,000 hours of not beating myself up, and I'll be where I want to be.
Well, the journey of 23,000 steps starts with first step.
Stacy's going out in London tonight, and she doesn't know what to wear.
Shut up. It's a conversation I heard on the street the other day.
Yeah.
Come on. This is what you're talking about? Does anyone care? You're speaking for no reason.
Stacy's going out in London.
Good for Stacy. I'm sorry that she can't figure out what clothes to put on. What a tough life.
Yeah, it's so difficult.
See, that person deserves to be judged, but I guess they don't deserve to occupy that much of my headspace.
That's right. That's exactly right. Okay, are you feeling okay?
Whatever, I'm fine. So we'll do for everyone who is looking forward to an episode on dicks.
We threw you a real curveball.
We'll try again one day.
Okay, when you're feeling up to it. Like a dick.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right, thanks everybody for listening to One Topic. Like and subscribe, rate and review. Share with your friends. Support our sponsor, hoffandpepper.com. Blah, blah, blah. 15% off. One Topic 15. Go do it. Thank you. Love yourself. Forgive yourself.
Never.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Autumn.
Do you like hot sauce?
I do like hot sauce, but I'm getting pretty bored of my regular Texas Pete or Tabasco. I'm looking for a local sauce without any additives or extracts. A company that uses local peppers so it's as fresh as possible, and a company that really cares about the integrity of the sauce and where their ingredients come from.
Definitely.
And hey, while we're at it, I don't want a sauce with too many ingredients. A lot of other sauces out there, they have all kinds of fillers. So I'd love to find a sauce with, I don't know, let's say no more than 5 ingredients. I mean, it's crazy, but there's gotta be a company out there that hand processes their sauce. Bottling and labeling every bottle themselves. I'm probably asking a lot.
Well, you really are, but there is a hot sauce out there who only uses 5 ingredients.
What?
0 fillers, additives, or extracts, and who bottles, labels, and packages everything themselves. It's called Hoff Sauce.
What?
They're a small batch hot sauce company out of Chattanooga, Tennessee that's won Best Louisiana-style sauce in the country. How many times? Not once, not twice, 3 times.
3 times!
How does that sound, Greg?
I think that sounds amazing.
You know how you can get your own bottle of hot sauce?
No, tell me please now.
hoffandpepper.com. And not only am I giving you the gift of the best hot sauce that you'll ever taste, I'm going to give you 15% off if you use the code ONETOPIC15.
Hold on, that's...
Yes, get a pen and paper.
One Topic 15.
Good. That's ONETOPIC15, all squished together at checkout. You'll get 15% off your order, and your life will be better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.